Hello, friends. One of the Defender's Army aviation gunships is returning home after a combat mission, navigating by the roads. This is for two reasons. First, GPS signal interference by Russians and Ukrainians makes those systems not 100% reliable near the front. But it's also to hide among the traffic, to prevent Ivan from determining where the dispersal bases of Ukraine's helicopter force are located. Hopefully, they will soon get the helicopters they deserve to perform their missions more safely and effectively. And to continue with the jealousy, here's a brief clip of the attack by a Ram-2X loitering munition against a Mi-8 HIP helicopter of the Horde that was operating from Crimea. The removal of invaders from the peninsula continues. A Mosquito patrols a settlement where the presence of orcs has been reported, so it enters a house looking for any unwanted visitor. The one who had already built a nest in a corner. Great precision from the operator, and the video quality is extraordinary too. Of course, this doesn't impress Ivan, but he's always annoyed about something. In this case, we can see how the Ukrainian hosts care about the health of an invader, so when they find one, they give him shock treatment to address two of his illnesses: invading neighboring countries and smoking while driving. Along the way, the logistics truck carrying the illegal tourist is disabled, making it a good day's work for the Ukrainian swarm, as they'll earn points for de-Putinizing the truck and the road. On July 4th, in a meticulously coordinated attack that demonstrates the growing tactical coordination of Ukrainian units, the drone operators from the Lazar group of the National Guard, working together with the Cardia Brigade, identified, tracked, and destroyed a Russian Buk M3 surface-to-air missile system that was hiding in a dense forest. The operation cleared a key air corridor, enabling a fighter bomber to advance. An illegal tourist who had disabled a logistics truck earlier also disabled Russian command vehicles. The Buk M3 is one of Russia's most advanced mobile air defense platforms, and had been deployed in that area precisely to protect the command posts. What's interesting is that we see how ground and air forces work together to launch perfectly coordinated operations. First, to remove the Horde's air defenses in the sector and create a temporary window of superiority for launching a long-range attack on the Russian command infrastructure. To make sure the command center had been neutralized, operators from the Lazar group launched some drones to scout the access points to the facilities. Excellent work by the whole team. On the strategic sanctions front, Ukrainian forces carried out one of the deepest and most symbolic attacks of the war, attacking the Horde's largest oil refinery, located 2,500 kilometers from the Ukrainian border in the Siberian city of Omsk. The Gazprom Neft refinery in Omsk is a vast complex with a nominal processing capacity of between 21 and 23 million tons of oil per year, and until now, it had not been attacked by the defenders because it is so far away. The General Staff of Ukraine confirmed the operation, indicating that long-range FP-1 attack drones were used, modernized 13, of which managed to directly hit the primary oil refining units, the OU, AVT-1, and AVT-11. With a combined capacity of 16.8 million tons of crude oil per year, making them the main nodes of the primary oil refining process. This means that a large part of the raw material volume passes through these units, so their destruction disrupts the operation of most subsequent processes and can lead to a complete shutdown of production at the refinery. It's interesting that in this video we see how one of the attackers flies over the refinery to choose a target that hasn't been hit yet in order to maximize the damage of the attack. That shows it was controlled live by its operator. This attack makes it clear to us that the FP-1 Mosquitoes now have a range of at least 2,500 kilometers. This performance would have been achieved by installing larger wings, which not only improve range but also allow additional fuel tanks to be installed within the wing itself. In addition, the operators behind the raid demonstrated remarkable mission planning capability as they were able to bypass significant concentrations of air defenses in several cities and intermediate industrial centers. Omsk was considered a secure facility and completely out of reach of the defenders, but it became the last of the 11 major Z refineries to enter the glamorous and exclusive list of targets for Ukrainian raids. Strategically, the attack shows a new capability of the Ukrainian forces to reach the most important facilities of the Z oil industry. It also exposes the porosity of Russian air defenses, in addition to exerting economic and psychological pressure by disrupting a key node in the Russian fuel production network, which supplies demand not only in Siberia, but also in the rest of the country. And the Mortarites in the city know this. After the attack, they immediately went to fill up the tanks of their Ladas, just in case. Someone who has an interesting opinion about the attack is the Z mill blogger, Yevgeny Goldman, who on July 4th delighted us with one of his comments. The goal of the Ukras now is to destroy our refinery in Omsk, and we must prevent that from happening. We need to seal off the Omsk region, my friends, with 4 rings. If they attack us there, we're screwed, and they'd have to lock up half the government. Useless bastards. Still waiting. What are they waiting for? What's the president waiting for? We have someone who can make a decision. To hell with all these ministries if they can't decide anything. Times are different now. The homeland is in danger. Well, if he says so, who are we to contradict him? Was that all? Well, no, because on July 6th, the unmanned systems forces attacked successfully the Slavneft oil refinery in Yaroslav, one of Russia's largest and most strategically vital fuel production facilities, since it was the last major refinery in the complex that supplies Moscow, and that remained practically intact and operating at high capacity. Other key facilities in the region had already been neutralized or severely damaged by Ukrainian sanctions. But that serious oversight was resolved by the operators of the 1st Unmanned Systems Brigade, the 412th Nemesis Brigade, and the 413th Raid Brigade. Working together with units from the Directorate of Intelligence, Defense, Security Service, Border Guard, and the Foreign Intelligence Service of Ukraine, they carried out a massive direct attack against this target, located more than 700 kilometers inside the territory of the Horde. The Yaroslav refinery has an annual processing capacity of about 15 million metric tons and produces gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, and oils essential to Putler's war machine. Finally, Denis Stillerman, CEO of the company Firepoint, was asked about these new ultra-long-range FP-1 drones, and he replied that they have an estimated range of 3,400 kilometers. This means they can cover about half of Russian territory, or to give you a better idea, they could fly from Kharkiv to Iceland. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.